Very cool moment for the show. We get to talk to a 7-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, part of the greatest show on turf, wide receiver Torry Holt. Torry, thanks for making time for us, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on, as always.
We're just sitting here in the hold, and I remember you did a year in Jacksonville, and then you go to New England. And I, as a fan of every team but New England, I was so scared that you were gonna find that fountain of youth in New England and just light it up. I got real nervous.
Yeah, by that time I got to New England, I just had maybe a few months, and then my legs ran out of gas, man. So it did happen, but the 10 years prior to that, or 11 years prior to that New England stint, was a lot of running. I enjoyed the game a lot. Played with a lot of great dudes. Played against a lot of great competition. Was able to go to some Pro Bowls and some All-Pros and win some Super Bowls. So not a bad career, man. Not bad at all.
And not bad at all. Good enough to find out earlier this week that you've been named one of the semi-finalists for the class of 2017's Pro Football Hall of Fame. What does an honor like that mean for you?
Very honored and humbled, man. I grew up watching football. Love the game of football. The game of football has done so much for me and my family. Changed my life. And all I wanted to do was play professional sports. It happened to be football. And now be talked about amongst the greats. It's a tremendous honor. And I'm glad that I'm thought of in that light. It tells me that I played the game the right way. I was viewed as such, and that was all I wanted. All I wanted to do was make sure that I competed against my competitors, that they felt my competition, that the coaches had something to prepare for, go out and stop me. And having this, being nominated or being a semifinalist for the third straight year, kind of gives you some credence and validation to what you was able to do out on the football field. Now it's just a matter of getting in. And if I get in, that definitely for sure validates the type of career that I was able to have.
They give you wide receivers such a hard time getting in. I mean, I feel like you're going to get in, but I almost feel like it doesn't even come close to like you're already validated.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, because the receiver position was a lot of good players, particularly in our era, with Marvin Harrison, who's in, Randy Moss, who will be in, Terrell Owens, who will be in, Isaac Bruce, who will be in, before, and then myself. That was the top 5 guys in the decade that I played. And I was amongst the top of those guys entire decade. I think I had the most receptions and yards of any of those guys for a single decade. But that just goes to show you the type of competition, the level of play we had at that position during our time. And to potentially see all of those guys, those 5 guys that I just mentioned, have an opportunity to be inducted into the National Football Hall of Fame speaks a lot about the guys, speaks a lot about the position and how it was played. So I'm thankful and honored to be able to have an opportunity to play against those guys, compete against those guys, because they definitely made sure that I held the standard up really high at the receiver position. So, we'll see. It's tough. Like you said, it's tough for receivers, but, all of those guys that I mentioned and the guys before me and after me are all very well deserving.
104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. We're joined by Super Bowl champion wide receiver Torry Holt.
Torry, I vote for the College Football Hall of Fame, and growing up as a Syracuse Orange fan, watching you tear apart my Port Orange when you played for NC State, I voted for you for the College Football Hall of Fame. So we're going to touch on what you've done to my Port Orange and your NC State Wolfpack here in a bit, but I want to ask you about the changes going on right now with the Los Angeles Rams. They've decided to start rookie quarterback Jared Goff. Do you believe it was time for that franchise to make the move?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Jared play. I've been screaming for Jared Goff from at the beginning of the season. Sort of like, how Wentz thrown in and how Dak and those guys have been thrown in to go out and to play early on. I was pulling for Jared to do the same. I'm looking forward to seeing if he's continued to develop. Has he done better with retaining the information and then going out and regurgitating that information to the guys in the huddle? Can he lead a group of men? Can he play under the center? He in college. He was a shotgun guy, and the plays came in from the sideline. So all this stuff is new for Jared. So I want to see, has he improved there? I want to see how quickly can he recognize coverage and the pressures. And more importantly, can he lead men? You know, being such a young guy, can he lead that group of men that's in that huddle to have some success on the football field? You know, I will say this, coming into this week as a starter, playing against the Miami Dolphins, they ain't really what you, as a starting QB, a young starting QB, what you want. Because of how well the Dolphins are playing, particularly up front the last 4 games, and those guys are getting after you. But it'll be, you know, he's going to be challenged at some point. And he'll be challenged this week. Can he get out? Can he come out? Can they block? You know, can they protect him? Can they establish a running game? Will the receivers and tight ends get open? Not only get open, will they catch the ball and do something with it? So he'll need the O-line. He'll need the receivers. He'll need Gurley to, at some point, come on. You know, Gurley has been frustrated and slowed this year. So will this be the game that Gurley breaks out? And if that's the case, then I think that eases things up for Jared Goff, makes his reads a little easier, makes the pocket a little cleaner, and then you can see the skill set that he has, and you understand why they took him number 1 overall.
Talking to a guy that seriously knows what it's like to go through a quarterback change. Torry Holt with us right now. So, Torry, one of the best wide receivers I've ever seen. As you look in the league this year, it's a big year for wide receivers. Who are your favorites to watch?
Man, Antonio Brown with the Steelers. You know, he plays inside and outside. He's also dangerous as a returner. Never comes off the field. Plays at a tremendous speed. A.J. Green, very talented player. Really good body control for a guy of his size. Can bend his hips, can get in and out of breaks. Makes things look fairly easy when you watch A.J. Green. Odell Beckham. Fast, snatches the ball out of the air. Routes are very clean. I mentioned last week, or I mentioned on Monday, I tweeted out something on the Monday night game about his ability to run routes and how clean and how good his body control is, the route runner. Julio Jones. Julio Jones, grown man, big kid, strong, very productive, has the size, has the strength. And then Amari Cooper and Marvin Jones are a couple other guys that I think about as well that stand out to me on Sundays that I look forward to watching go out and play the receiver position.
We're talking to Torry Holt, wide receiver of the Rams, Super Bowl champion right here on 104.5 The Team. You mentioned Odell Beckham Jr. He's fiery, sometimes almost to a fault. I remember you had a little shimmy to you now and again, but you never seem to let your emotions take over. Do you have a player like that you can think of that reminds you of Odell Beckham Jr. that you played with back in the day?
Yes, I do. I mean, I played with some guys that were very passionate, very emotional. Now, they chose to express that a little differently than Odell, minus some of the antics. I think, he can get out there a bit much, and he said it. I sat down to listen to him when he did the Monday Night Countdown one-on-one conversation with Randy Moss. I don't know if you guys caught that, but it was pretty good, by the way. And he talked about going too far. And I think that has something to do with his youth. He's 23 years old. He's the NFL's biggest star, one of the NFL's biggest stars. And not only is he one of the biggest stars in the NFL, he's also a global star at 23 years old. So you're gonna find some immaturity, but I like the fact that he's passionate about the sport. That lets me know that he cares about the game. And also in that interview with Moss, he talked about having the passion and the drive to master his craft. That lets me know as a former receiver that our game is in good hands. Our position is in good hands with Odell Beckham because he cares about it, he studies it, and he goes out and he tries to perfect it every single day. So I'm okay with him. I think as he gets older, you'll see some of those antics kind of tailor. But I hope that burning desire and that competition, that competitive level emotion, I hope that stays there throughout the duration of his career.
We brought it up a bit earlier in the interview. Your time with the NC State Wolfpack. Upstate New York fans may remember you torching the Orange back in the 90s, but your alma mater did beat Syracuse last weekend. Are you happy in the way your program, your alma mater, NC State, is heading right now?
I am. But like all of our fans, we want to see more wins. We want to see more meaningful wins versus good quality football teams like Louisville and the Clemson and the Carolinas and the Florida State. But yeah, I like what Coach Dorn and his staff has this football team going. And in order for us to be able to get those big wins, like I just mentioned, we got to continue to recruit good players. We got to coach them up, and then we got to win. And I think Coach D and his staff are well on their way. I think this is fourth or fifth year now. And it takes time, man. It takes time, and it takes time. But a lot of these coaches don't have the time to rebuild or build programs. So I'm hoping the Wolfpack will continue to hang in there with him, give him the support to go out and recruit good players, and his staff, like I said, coach him up, and we can get more wins. But to answer your question, yeah, I like where we're going. We have Miami coming in this weekend. They've won, I think, the last 2 games, 30-plus points. So, you know, we're going to have to be ready to slow that offense down. And then we end the season with Chapel Hill, with UNC over in Chapel Hill. And we all know about their offensive power. So he's got Coach Doran and the staff have to close these last 2 games out on a high note. But to answer your question, yes, I like the direction in which he has our football team going.
Super Bowl champion Torry Holt with us right now on 104.5 The Team. Before we let you go, what are you up to nowadays? What's a fun day like for Torry Holt?
Oh man, I'm thankful and blessed to have good health and decent well-being. I'm thankful for that. I'm still around the game of football. I'm around the game on a high school level. I help coach high school football. I'm the offensive coordinator for our JV football team here in North Carolina, Heritage High School. And then I have the varsity receivers on Friday. I coach the varsity receivers. So I'm still around the game of football that I love so dearly. I get an opportunity to teach the game to our young people and teach it the right way so our game can stay in good hands and be played and be respected the right way. And then my brother and I are business partners. We have our construction company, Holt Brothers Construction Company. We have our football programs that we run here, football camps in the summer, and we also have our foundation, Holt Brothers Foundation, which helps support young kids with a parent or guardian that's battling cancer. So those things have me busy. Those things keep me young. There are fun times when I'm doing foundation stuff. There are sad times. There are fun times when I'm doing construction. There are sad times. But it's all things that I like, and I'm able and fortunate to be able to do the way I want to do it. So we're excited about that. But we're here in North Carolina. We're building some very exciting projects that we're excited about with our construction company. We're working right now out at Raleigh Union Station, working on the Union Station, which is great for our portfolio. We're working at Wake Tech, which is a university project. We're working Pool Family YMCA, and I'm pretty sure you guys, the audience, and you guys are familiar with YMCA, which is one of the largest nonprofit community service organizations in America. So we're building some of their projects. Awesome. Sheets, which is a gas station and a convenience store. We're building those. So all those exciting things have me excited, and they're keeping me busy. And if you're looking for a builder, here in North Carolina and beyond, you can go to HoltBrothersConstruction.com.
I think somebody needs to teach you what retirement means, Torry. Torry, I got to tell you, out of all your great achievements, Torry Holt with us, my favorite was pretending that you didn't have anything left in the tank when you went to New England. That's out of everything, like that was the biggest blessing you ever gave me.
Hey, man, I did, man. I promise you. My intentions when I went to New England was, okay, I got another opportunity to play one more year, possibly get to playoffs, possibly get to the Super Bowl. But, man, I ran out of gas, bro. But I thank the Patriots for giving me an opportunity. I thank the Jaguars as well as the Rams for giving me an opportunity to fulfill my dreams as a professional athlete.
Well, we're a Jet station, so I got to take a shot at the Pats when I get a chance, you know?
Yeah, of course you should, of course.
Torry, man, we really appreciate you, and we're really rooting for you to get into both Hall of Fame. Like I said, my co-host, he votes for the College Football Hall of Fame, so I feel like we might be able to twist his arm.
We're doing our best, Torry.
But thank you guys very much. I appreciate it very much. And to be, if I was to get selected into the College and Pro Hall of Fame, it would be an outstanding blessing. And to all of our Wolfpack fans in the greater upstate New York or New York area, peace, big game.
Torry Holt, thank you so much, man. You're a great man.
Thank you, guys. All the best.